Guys, what's up? We are live. Finally back for some NBA. I know it's only been, like 4 months, but it feels like years it's been since I've live streamed. It's been a while, so can you guys hear me? Is everything good? I just want to confirm that we are good because I literally have not streamed in forever. So if someone could let me know. What's up? Are we good, guys? Can you guys hear me? I'm going to tweet out the live stream. All right, cool. All right, give me 1 sec. Let me just tweet it out, and then we'll get to it. Only got 2 games, but yes, like I said, it's been a while, so I'm a little bit rusty with streaming, making sure everything's all set. All right. So, if you guys are new to this channel, new to the live stream, what we're going to do is we can go over injury news so far. We just got the big news that we were looking for with Zion. He's going to play, but they're going to limit him. What we got from the quote was, we'll play in short, quick burst on Thursday. Again, the reason why is because he's been out of the bubble for a little over a week, so he's getting back into shape. So that's obviously a pretty big hit to Zion. Now, like, how much are they going to hold him back? I don't know, because they're in like a must-win scenario here. So I think they will limit him a little bit, but not a whole lot. And then the other big news we're waiting for right now is the availability of Pat Beverly. I don't think he's going to go. He was not at shoot-around, or he was there, but he did not warm up at shoot-around. So I guess I should probably have that. That's what I used to do. Sorry, it's been a minute. I used to go to Fantasy Labs and go over what we knew. But yeah, like I said, we got Zion in short, quick burst, and then KCP's probable, Kuzma probable. Pat Bev is questionable. Again, I don't think he's going to go if he was not shooting around at shoot-around. Zion going to play, but again, in short bursts, and then LeBron AD, they're going to play too. So don't worry about that. What we can do now is look at the odds really quick. Hasn't moved too much, honestly. The Pelicans Jazz, I think that went up a little bit. It's now at 229. The Pelicans are 2.5-point favorites, and the Clippers Lakers 219.5. The Lakers are 5-point favorites. All right. So, what is up, guys? I know it's been a long time. Yeah, so I'm going to go over, we'll go team by team, kind of talk about the players I like, and then I can get to questions at the end. We have a lot of time here. We have 40 minutes until lock, so shouldn't be running. I should be able to get to all your guys' questions. All right, let's start with Utah. So, if you guys did not watch my video last night, then you probably didn't know that like a lot in the industry, I think, are pretty high on this Utah team. We have no Bojan Bogdanovic. That was a key piece to the rotation. He was playing about 35 minutes a game. Never a guy that I like playing for DFS purposes because he's so scoring dependent. But those minutes, those shots, that production, that has to go somewhere. So I think the starting lineup is going to be Gobert, Mitchell, Conley, Ingles, and Royce O'Neal. I really like this Utah team. I think you probably want to get at least 3 of these guys with, Gobert, Mitchell, Conley, Ingles, and Clarkson. I think they're going to have to play big minutes. They're running a 9-man rotation before the coronavirus break. It could be an 8-man rotation, or they could just add Moutier to it. So, let's start with Gobert at 7-1. I think, from what I've kind of listened to so far, he might go a little bit lower owned, and I'm all about that. Normally, Rudy Gobert is not a guy I like playing a lot, but it's a 2-game slate. His price is down, and the matchup is great here against the Pelicans. So I really like Gobert. Now, there are some value centers, too, on the slate that are certainly in play. Guys like Zubac, McGee, Joe Kim, Noah. I think you're going to want exposure to one of those cheap centers. So that's why it makes it, I guess, a little bit tricky with Gobert, but you could definitely run the 2-center approach. That's what I have currently right now. I have Gobert with one of those value centers. I just think he goes a little bit lower owned, but yeah, I really, really like his upside here in this spot against New Orleans. Donovan Mitchell, I think he's probably going to be the most popular play on the slate. It's for good reason. Going to have to do a little bit more offensively with no Bojan. Matchup's great. The price is down. Could be an 8-man rotation. Yeah, I love Donovan Mitchell here. I think, again, that's not a really strong take. He'll probably be the chalkiest play of the day, so love him there. I also like Mike Conley at 6'2". He, the minutes going into the break were looking pretty good for him, 34, 30, and 34. Again, a little bit more production to go around with no Bojan. Maybe a few extra minutes here from Mike Conley. Yeah, I mean, again, he's been very up and down this season, a little bit more down than up, but the last few games going into the break, he was playing better. I think he goes kind of forgotten about on this slate a little bit. Again, Donovan Mitchell is going to eat up a lot of ownership. I think Jordan Clarkson is going to eat up a lot of ownership. So those two are probably going to be the two guys in most people's lineups for Utah. But, again, there are some other options here, like Conley at 6'2". I just think that's a pretty good price for a guy that's probably going to get 30 to 35 minutes in a really good matchup. I also like Joe Ingles, Jingle Bells, 5.7K. His price doesn't seem as good as the others, but I think that's going to lower the ownership a lot on him, right? So this is more talking about the Millie Maker. If you want to get different, I kind of like getting to Joe Ingles. Again, a guy like him, a guy like Derek Favors are low-owned targets. Definitely not really cash game plays, but those are guys I think will fly under the radar that could have upside. And kind of the same analysis with Conley, with Mitchell. Ingles probably gets a few extra minutes here. Gonna have to do a little bit more. The thing with him is he's a guy that will do it all, right? He'll get the rebounds, assist, and if he can get top behind the 3-point line, which he definitely can, he can have upside to put up like 40-plus fantasy points. So Joe Ingles, a low-owned guy that I have interest in as well. Royce O'Neal at 4.9 is just, I'll pass there. He'll have like a good game once every 10 games, but he's not an offensive player at all. He's out there mainly for his defense. Yeah, I mean, I would much rather get to the guys above him with Ingles, Conley, or Clarkson below him. Now let's go to Jordan Clarkson at 4.2. I think he's also going to be one of the most popular plays of the day. Again, kind of for good reason. He was coming out the bench, playing about 25 minutes or so a game going into the break. I think those minutes are going to go up with no Bojan. I think he gets closer to 30 minutes. The thing with Clarkson is he's going to come off the bench, he's going to shoot the ball. That's what we want in players. Right? We want players that are going to be aggressive when they're out there. Clarkson is definitely going to be one of those guys. He's going to shoot it a ton. Now, the one downside, I guess, is he has been a little bit more scoring dependent. So if his shot's not falling, he does have a kind of low floor. But again, I think the minutes go up. I think the matchup's really good. And he's also, again, someone's going to be pretty popular. Bradley's a pass at 3.7. I think the only way you could consider him is if you think Gobert gets in foul trouble or injured, because Gobert most of the time is going to play about 35 minutes. Niang at 3.3, that's just like a dart throw, right? He'll probably get a few extra minutes here, maybe 15 to 18, but nothing I'm excited about. And then Moutier, another dart throw too. Might not even be in the rotation, but my guess is he'll probably sneak into the rotation, maybe play 10 to 15 minutes. If you want to get super, super risky for a Millie Maker dart throw, that's basically it. So all in all, again, guys, I really like Utah. I think you're going to want 3 of those players that I've mentioned with Mitchell, Gobert, Conley, Ingles, Clarkson. Those 5, I like targeting 3. I really do. So that's really it for Utah. Let's move on to New Orleans now. So, again, the big news we got is Zion will play in short burst. At 7.5, he's more of just a contrarian play now because the minutes are just a question mark, right? I don't think they're going to go down too much, but I just think there's better plays for their prices. Like, I would rather get to Lonzo at 7.4. He's still my favorite Pelican here. He was playing 35 to 40 minutes going into the break. He's a guy that, again, he does it all, rebounds, assists, and he's been shooting the ball pretty well from three-point land too. So I really like Lonzo. He's my favorite New Orleans Pelican player. I know it's not the best matchup. Like I don't think I would go crazy in my Pelicans exposure, but Lonzo would probably be my first guy in there at 7-4. Now it makes it a little bit tricky, right? Because we have some really good guard plays on this slate. Mitchell, Clarkson, two guys I think will be very popular. Also Reggie Jackson, looking like Pat Beverly's not going to play. So that's three guards right there. And right, you could go the four-guard approach with Lonzo in there too, but I just think, there's some really good guard plays today that maybe Lonzo goes lower owned for that reason. Because, again, people are going to plug in Mitchell, Clarkson, Reggie Jackson, in my opinion. I think those are three really good plays. It's just roster construction, right? You only have so much room for these guards. And then Ingram at 8-3, Drew at 8-6. I think I would slightly prefer Drew, but the same situation I just mentioned with Lonzo is there's a lot of good guards on this slate. So, it's an opportunity cost of wasting a guard spot and Drew in a tougher matchup. But, he did have two really good games going to that break, 65 and 61 fantasy points. We know Drew's a guy that can get hot, obviously. Kind of like Lonzo, he's a guy that will fill up the stat sheet. I just prefer Lonzo for $1,200 less. And then Ingram's a guy that is going to go under the radar here, but the more I think about it, the more I kind of like him as a contrarian play. If Zion's going to be limited a little bit, Ingram is definitely the biggest beneficiary in my opinion. Like we saw what Ingram was doing when Zion was out at the beginning of the season. He was having an amazing year, before Zion started playing. Now he's still playing decent too with Zion back, but I think that makes Ingram more viable with Zion being slightly limited here. And then the value plays favors. This is just a contrarian play. Definitely not like a cash game play or a safe play. But I could see him getting extended a little bit here in this matchup against Utah. I don't know if they want to run Melly out there too much against Gobert. I guess I could use Jackson Hayes too. But we've seen, Favors minutes are kind of all over the place. Sometimes he'll play low 20s minutes. Sometimes he'll get into the 30s, right? Where we played 32 there against Dallas. He's definitely not if you're making one lineup, I don't think I would get there. But he's a contrarian option that I have a little bit of interest in and could get extended here, right? We really don't know what the minutes are going to be like. We're kind of just guessing. But I could see him getting extended to 28, 30 minutes here. And we know when Favors gets minutes, he's normally a pretty productive guy. Melly at 4K, I think he'll get a little extra run here with Zion being slightly limited. Could play a little backup 5. Again, or could use Jackson Hayes a bit. I think he's in a group of value plays, which I'll talk about, like him, JJ Redick, basically all those Lakers guys are in a pool of guys that I think you can take shots on. No one I really feel great about, but these are guys that can get hot behind the 3-point land and put up fancy points that way. Melly's a guy that can do it a little bit more. Right? He'll get some rebounds if he plays small ball 5 or a little of the 4 too. So I do have a little bit of interest here in Melly at 4K. Josh Hart at 3.9. Again, in that same group of guys with Melly, all those Lakers guys in my opinion. Probably plays 20, 25 minutes or so. And then same thing with JJ Redick. I think I slightly prefer JJ Redick to Josh Hart just because he's a better 3-point shooter. And if he gets hot, right, they could leave him in more, get a little extra run. Each one more wouldn't go there. So that's basically the extent there of my Pelicans breakdown. So for the top 4 guys, I think I would rank them right now. Lonzo 1, maybe Ingram 2, and then Drew 3, Zion 4. Zion's a big question mark. I still think he is in play, but with them slightly limiting his minutes, it does worry me. And then value options, again, we have Melly, Hart, and JJ Redick. I think I'd probably rank those guys Melly 1, then JJ 2, then Josh Hart 3. But that's really it. Let me see if we got any more updates yet. Again, really all we're waiting for right now is Pat Bev news. I assume he's going to be out. Pelicans will start Lonzo, Holiday, Ingram, Zion, and Favors. Again, we expected that. Nothing else. Okay, so let's move on to the Clippers. Clippers are a team that I do like today. Normally they're a team that I don't like targeting because they're very, very balanced. But we have some key injuries here, right? Montrez out. Lou Williams out. Those are their two very, very productive guys off the bench. And then Pat Beverly they have him listed as questionable. He didn't participate in shoot around. I don't think he's going to go. So those are huge minutes to go around, right? Pat Bev about 20 to 25. Lou Williams about 25 to 30. Montrez 25 to 30. And that's a lot of production too. So I really like this Clippers team. I would probably rank it. I think I slightly like the Jazz a little bit more, but if you made me pick two teams, I would load up on the Jazz and the Clippers. Those are the two teams I really like today. I don't think that's a strong take either. I think a lot of people feel the same. But yeah, Quiet at 9-2, I think is going to go a little bit lower owned because Paul George is $2,000 less. Paul George, in my opinion, is the better point per dollar play. So. Yeah, I would probably prefer Paul George to Kawhi. Not making Kawhi out of play. I think he's a little bit more of a contrarian play for his price. Again, PG is one of the top plays of the slate, in my opinion, up there with Donovan Mitchell and a guy like Jordan Clarkson and probably one of those value bigs and Reggie Jackson. Right, I think those are probably the top point per dollar plays for this slate. Yeah, really, really like Paul George. The only thing I slightly worry about is the Clippers. This game doesn't mean a whole lot, right? They're already basically secured into the playoffs, just kind of for seeding purposes. So, you could see them limited slightly, but with them missing Lou, them missing Montrez, and most likely Pat Beverly, I think these guys will get good minutes. So, really, really like Paul George. Again, I think him, Donovan Mitchell, probably the two top plays on this slate. So a guy like Marcus Morris at 4.7, I think he's going to fly under the radar as well. Wasn't doing a whole lot going into the break, playing about 25, 30 minutes. I think those minutes will go up for him. What we know with Marcus Morris is he is a guy that will shoot the ball when he's out there. So he's not going to be shy, and they're missing some key pieces where he's going to have to do more offensively. So I kind of like Marcus Morris as a under the radar play. I don't think a lot of people will get to him. I think he'll be low owned. Reggie Jackson is going to be one of the most popular plays of the slate. I think it's for a good reason, to be honest. No Lou. Again, most likely no Pat Beverly. He's probably going to start, and I would say get close to 30 minutes. They do have a guy like Rodney McGruder. They do have other guys they can use. They have Shamet, who I think will get a little extra run. Not super, super interested in Shamet. I think he's a dart throw. But I would, again, definitely prefer Reggie Jackson. I think he's going to be one of the most popular plays of the slate. And then as far as the bigs, we have Zubac and Joakim Noah and JaMychal Green with no Montrez. Again, those minutes have to go somewhere. So Zubac was playing about 15 to 20 minutes a game going into the break. He might be asked to play a few extra minutes here with no Montrez. I think Joakim Noah will definitely get in the rotation. For how many minutes, that's kind of a question mark, right? But I think he definitely will play. He is a guy that will be pretty popular, in my opinion, as a value play because we know Joakim Noah, when he gets minutes, he's a pretty productive guy, right? We saw in Memphis when he was a backup getting about 15 or so minutes a game. He was putting up some big fancy point games here. So I like Joakim Noah as a value play. I think he's going to be very popular. I like Zubac at 4.5. If you're going to make me pick, I would lean Noah because that's, again, $1,500 difference. The only concern is the minutes of Noah, right? He could, I wouldn't be super shocked if he only played 10 minutes. And then finally, JaMychal Green at 3.5. He could also be asked to play more minutes too with no Montrezl Harrell. It could kind of just be a three-headed monster with those three guys at the center position, or they could use JaMychal Green a bit at the 4. So, yeah, I definitely think you're going to want to target one of those value bigs. If you're going to make me pick, I'm going to go Noah. I think he will be the most popular. But I like Zubac too. I like JaMychal Green too. I think those three are definitely in play here for value. Pat, no interest there at 3K. Again, Magruder, I'm not going to get to him. Shamet, again, that's just really a dart throw. Don't feel too good about it. But all in all, this Clippers team is a team I really like. Again, Paul George, Reggie Jackson are going to be two of the most popular plays of the slate for good reason. I also like those value bigs with Noah, Zubac, even JaMychal Green is viable. Lastly, let's talk about the Lakers here. So we have LeBron at 10.7, AD at 10K. Yeah, I still slightly prefer Anthony Davis because he's about $700 less. It's a better matchup for him, right? He's going to match up against Zubac, maybe a little Joakim Noah, whereas LeBron going to have like Paul George, Kawhi Leonard defense. So yeah, I prefer AD to LeBron. Not saying LeBron's out of play, but if you're going to make me pick one, I think you go AD. Kuzma was played really well in that one scrimmage game. He got hot. I think he got like 25 points. The issue with him is I don't get to him a whole lot when AD and LeBron are both healthy. Usually he's someone I get to when one of those guys are out. Now I still think Kuzma's viable, right? He'll probably get 25 or so minutes. He's a guy that, again, we've seen he can get hot behind the three-point line. So I think he's in play for value for sure. And then you get the big group of guards here for the Lakers that I don't really feel good about any of them, but kind of like that scenario I mentioned with some of those Pelicans guys, you just put them in a little group, and if you're making a lot of lineups, you take shots here and there. So guys like KCP, J.R. Smith, Caruso, Danny Green, even Markieff Morris, Dion Waiters, right? These are all guys that I don't really like playing too much, but probably at least one of those guys will have a decent game. I think it's going to be KCP and Danny Green starters. Alex Caruso will get a little extra run with no Rondo. Again, they have J.R. Smith now. Dion Waiters, we don't really know what the minutes are going to be like for him. We don't know what they're going to be like for J.R. Smith. So yeah, like those are all guys that I think you can take shots on. No one really stands out to me, but I think it's just if you can get the Lakers guard right, if you can get the one guy right that goes off, you're going to be in great shape. It's just trying to predict which one it is, right? They're all kind of 3-and-D guys, right? Like KCP, J.R. Smith, Danny Green. Waiter's not the best defensively, but you guys know what I'm saying. They're going to be staying in the corner, shoot threes, guys, and whoever gets hot, again, it's kind of just like throwing a dart, right? And then Caruso, I think we'll get a little extra run with no Rondo. Still don't feel like great about it. Guys that I do have some interest in for value, though, are McGee, Dwight Howard. McGee was getting about 15 to 20 minutes a game, and then Dwight Howard, the minutes going down on him a bit. But we could see, again, 10 to 15 minutes from him. They're both pretty solid point-per-minute guys. I would prefer McGee if you're going to make me pick. And I think McGee goes lower-owned. And I think the direct pivot off of a chalky Joakim Noah or a chalky Zubac is a guy like JaVale McGee. They could extend him a little bit. You never know. So that's really my thoughts there for the Lakers. I prefer AD to LeBron. And then the value options, no one to really feel great about. But I think you can all put them in like a pool and take shots on them. But yeah, I think that's really it. Let me see if there's any more news, any more updates here. Jazz will start Conley, Mitchell, Ingles, O'Neal, Gobert. Again, we expected that. Yeah, that's really it. All right, so let's get to some questions now. We got 20 minutes until lock. All right, let's see. Let me move this a little bit over here. I love the clips. No Zion on the floor. Ingram and Favors will probably see the biggest bump. Yeah, I agree with that. That's why I kind of like Ingram a little bit more now with Zion potentially being rested a bit. PG and Kawhi ball share going to be too high to miss out on, to be honest. Williamson starting confirmed. Yep, I love Leonard as a pivot. Most people have Davis or LeBron. I think that's true. I think Kawhi will go low owned. I think a popular build tonight is definitely going to be, you're going to see Donovan Mitchell and Paul George in a lot of lineups. So that makes it a little bit difficult if you want to get one of LeBron or AD to get Kawhi in there as well. So just for like a game theory roster construction standpoint, right? I think that's going to make Kawhi low owned. O'Neal and Ball or Ingles and Mitchell. Yeah, I would go Ingles and Mitchell there. I have Kawhi in 2 of my 3 lineups. Yeah, I don't think Kawhi's a bad play. I think he's going to go low owned. Now again, point per dollar, I prefer Paul George, but doesn't mean Kawhi can't go out there and have a huge game. And you get him a little bit of discount too off of those 2 Lakers guys. Now, do you have to play either LeBron or AD? I would probably play 1. I don't think you play 2 either unless you just go a game stack and hope that game goes to OT. Can you fade both? The only really way I think both LeBron and AD bust is if the game blows out. So I think you're probably going to want to get one of those guys. I don't think you want to play both. Who's a safer play, Favors or Jackson? Definitely Reggie Jackson, if that's what you're talking about. Yeah, I think Jackson is safer. I think the minutes will be pretty secure in him. O'Neal, I wouldn't play. Yeah, I'm not a big Royce O'Neal guy. I mean, he will have a big game every once in a while, but he's out there mainly for his defense. Favorite player under 4K other than Noah? That's a good question. Let's see. Favorite player under 4K other than Noah? So, yeah, I mean, I would probably go. The safe option here would probably be JaVale McGee. So if you're looking for safety, I think it's McGee, who's probably going to get 15 to 20 minutes. He has a high floor, and Biggs always have the highest floor. So if you're just looking for safety, it's probably him. If you're looking for one of those like 3-point shooters, I mean, it's so tough. I don't mind taking a shot on Redick just because he's the best 3-point shooter of the group. So, yeah, I think it would be McGee for safety and JJ Redick as a guy that can get hot behind the 3-point line. Josh Hart, yeah, I'm fine with Josh Hart too. Marcus Morris or Kyle Kuzma, that's a tricky one. I think both are pretty similar. I'm going to give the edge to Marcus Morris right now just because the Clippers are missing a lot of key pieces. Most expensive guy in the lineup is Lonzo. Am I doing it wrong? Good to have you back, DK. Hey, it's good to be back, man. Most expensive Lonzo, so that means you're fading both AD and LeBron. I think it's possible, but I would probably try to get one of AD LeBron in there. Unless you're just going to game stack, right? If you're going more of the game stack with the Pelicans and the Jazz, then I'm fine with it. But I would probably try to get one of AD or LeBron in there. Thoughts on Deion Waiters in the Millie? Yeah, I'm fine with taking a shot on Deion Waiters. We don't really know what the minutes are going to be like since we haven't seen him play yet for the Lakers besides scrimmages. I think, if he gets hot, I think he will play. But, if he gets hot behind the 3-point line, we could see 15 to 20 minutes, maybe a little bit more from Waiters. So I'm fine with him in the Millie Maker as a dart throw. I'm playing 5 Clippers. Hey, I mean, I don't hate it. Right now, guys, my exposure is... I'm strictly going GPPs. Tonight, I only make one lineup. And my exposure right now is I have 4 Jazz, 3 Clippers, and 1 Lakers. That is Anthony Davis. Yeah, and I'm leaving a 1.1K in the table. Trying to get a little bit different. I did have Lonzo in my lineup originally, but, with Pat Beverly most likely not playing, I kind of pivoted because I wanted to get Reggie Jackson in there. I like Caruso for 3.7K. Yeah, I'm fine with Caruso. I mean, I think he will get more run, obviously, with no Rondo. And, he's a guy that, will do, can get you some assists, rebounds, obviously. He's not strictly a scorer, right? So I'm okay with Caruso as a value option. Let's see. Hart or Redick. And that's a tough one. I personally will probably go Redick. But both are pretty similar. Hart was playing a few extra minutes going into the break. Yeah, that's a tough one. I will personally, again, I'll slightly go Redick, but it's close. JJ and Kawhi or Donovan Mitchell and Ingles. I think it's Mitchell and Ingles for me. Clarkson or Reggie Jackson. That's a really tough one. I'm playing both guys. I think those two are 2 of the top value plays on the slate. If you're going to make me pick, I'll go Clarkson. But I really like both those guys. Brandon Ingram, Leonard, Noah, or Holiday, Gobert, and Royce. Give me the first one. Ingram, Leonard, and Noah. If fading AD and LBJ for Leonard may be okay. Yeah. Again, I could see it happening where neither AD or LeBron is in the winning lineup tonight, but I think that's a pretty low chance, right? I think I would be probably under 10% chance. It's possible for sure. Agreed to go to have it back in the NBA. COD was nice, but this is where it's at. 100%. I mean, I do like watching Call of Duty a lot. I will for sure play the lineups for the Call of Duty Championship. But yeah, NBA is the best for sure. Deion Waiters, LeBron James, or Kawhi Leonard, Marcus Morris. Yeah, it's Kawhi Leonard and Marcus Morris for me there. Beer from RotoGrinders has Leonard the beast of the night, so I had to fade him. I have 4 Jazz, 2 Clippers, and 2 Lakers. Yeah, I'm good with that. I think the Pelicans are probably my least favorite team to target. I was going to play Leonard until I saw Beer left him. Easy fade. Kind of new. Can you explain a little on picking for the utility and guard spot? So, utility, normally I like going with a big in the utility. Now, it kind of depends on the slate. There are some pretty good center options, right? So guys like, again, I mentioned Gobert at the top. And then you have, Zubac, you have JaVale McGee, you have Joe Kim Noah, I think are pretty solid value options. So normally that's the way I like to go, is either a big or a point guard. Maybe, you want to go with those, the four guard approach. So you go like Donovan Mitchell, Clarkson, Reggie Jackson, and Lonzo. So that's kind of how I like building rosters, is either going with a big in the utility spot or a point guard. I would say most of the time. Not every time, but yeah, Reggie versus Clarkson is tough. It's really tough. Again, I'm playing both. I think, this is going to be a really, really popular build tonight. Is you're going to see where is, let me get off this. You're probably going to see a lot of lineups like this. Like, those are four guys that I think are going to be super, super popular. So in my opinion, that's how a lot of people will start. If you're going to play cash games, probably start it like that. I think those four are probably the best point per dollar plays. But again, there's definitely ways to get different too. For ownership, I'm going Clarkson. Yeah, I think both will be pretty high owned, to be honest. Both great plays, so yeah. Good to be back. I didn't play any DFS since the NBA shutdown. Do you like Shamet tonight or strictly Reggie Jackson? I think Shamet's more just a dart throw. Like, I think Reggie has a lot more upside. Now, as a Pistons fan, I know Reggie was very disappointing for Detroit, but he is a guy that does have upside, right? And the Clippers need some help offensively with no Lou, with no Montrez, so definitely prefer Reggie there, even though he's going to be a lot more popular. Thoughts on captaining Reggie Jackson in my clips for Lakers Showdown? Helps me fit in Leonard, AD, PG, and Morris with him. Yeah, I'm good with that. Again, I think Reggie's going to be one of the most popular plays of the slate. Minutes-wise, I think he'll probably get close to 30. Shamet will be lower owned. Definitely will be lower owned. Yeah, Shamet is so dependent on shooting well and has a ceiling like 22. Yeah, like I said, I'm not a big fan of Shamet there. Gobert or Mitchell for captain? Well, for safety, it's going to be Donovan Mitchell. I think he is the guy that has more upside. He's going to be higher owned than Gobert in the showdown. If you want to get a little bit different, though, I think Gobert is the way to get different in the captain, because most people will probably go Donovan Mitchell in the captain, because I think he is one of the best, if not the best, point per dollar play on this slate. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts with that. Let's see if we got any more news. Bryn Forbes ruled out for Friday. Yeah, some of the stuff is for Friday. Let's see. Do you have Ingles DK? I do. Right now, I currently do have Joe Ingles. I said I have 4 Utah guys. I think that is definitely a little bit concerning. I think 3 is probably the sweet spot, but I'm going a little bit different. Again, I'm leaving some money on the table. Who's your favorite core plays? Yeah, so I think these 4 right here would be my 4 favorite core play guys. I think they're the best point per dollar plays. So yeah, Clarkson, Mitchell, Paul George, and Reggie Jackson. If you don't want to go Clarkson and you want to go Conley, that's fine with me too. It's all about what kind of works with your roster. So if you can get to Conley, I'm fine with that too. I think maybe he's a slightly safer option, but I just think Clarkson is going to have to do a lot more with no Bojan. So slightly prefer Clarkson for his price, but I do like both guards. If you want to go Conley over Clarkson, that's fine with me. But yeah, I think that would be how I would start my lineup for like a core cash game lineup. LeBron or AD? Something tells me LeBron goes insane tonight. Yeah, I slightly prefer Anthony Davis for the price. $700 discount plus the better matchup. LeBron would be matched up against Paul George and Kawhi. Not saying LeBron can't go off. I definitely have interest in LeBron. I'm going to go AD if you're going to make me pick one. I think I know your lineup with 1.1K left on the table. Yeah, normally you and Sano usually can get to my lineups, so you probably do have it. Sick overlays. Oh yeah, I forgot. There is going to be big overlay guys in the Millie Maker. Like, I think huge. Let me check on that. That was like only half full when Yeah, 454,000 out of 899,000. So it's literally like half full right now. Again, I'm only a one lineup guy, but I might throw in a few of just the same lineup just because it's such good overlay right now. Is there any other overlay? There's some overlay in the $1 tournament too. 51,000 out of 89,000. Yeah, okay, so definitely check the DraftKings lobby, guys. There is some pretty big overlay. I know it's only a 2-game slate. I know you don't want to go crazy, but I would probably try, enter a few more lineups in some of these tournaments. Sick overlays. Yeah, Marcus Moore, sneaky good play. Yeah, like I said, I think he's a sneaky play. I think Joe Ingles is a sneaky play. I think Favors will be low owned. Those three are guys I wouldn't play in like a cash game setting or a single entry setting. Well, maybe Marcus Morris, but they definitely do have upside. Howard or McGee in single entry GPP. I'm going to go JaVale McGee. LOL, just kidding. Oh, and also, if you guys enjoy the live stream, hit that like button. We only do have 16 likes, so if you enjoy this, would appreciate if you guys can hit the like button. Sorry if I'm a little rusty, too, with just everything, with live streaming. It's been such a long time. But yeah, again, I'll definitely get a hang of it again. I think of some sits on the Lakers between LeBron and AD. Davis would be Davis. Rest-wise, yeah, but they're not going to rest AD. Caruso or Danny Green? That's a good question. I would probably go... I don't know. I think Danny Green will get some ownership tonight. He's a guy, again, strictly a 3-and-D guy. He's got to hit his threes. If he's not hitting his threes, he has a super low floor. Caruso, I think, probably gets around 20 minutes. He'll probably have to run the point guard a little bit. This might be a hot take, but I think I slightly prefer Caruso to Danny Green. Connor Jones, what's up, man? Good to see you. Let's see. How's this? My main lineup, Mitchell, Clarkson, Paul George, AD, Gobert, Ingles, Hart, and Zubac. Yeah, again, very, very similar to mine. I like that. NBA basketball is back. Let's go. Is Melly playable? I think he is. With Zion being slightly limited, I think Melly could play a few extra minutes. Sounds good. He's in a blowout. AD outscores LeBron tonight. I think so. I mean... I wouldn't say I think so, but I just like AD slightly better for his price. JaMychal Green over Lakers bigs. That's a tough one because JaMychal Green is a guy that kind of has a low floor. I do have interest in him. The minutes are a question mark for me. I don't really know. Like, is he going to get back up 5 minutes? Are those minutes going to go to Noah? Is Zubac going to get more minutes? So that's a tricky one. I think him. Like, I prefer JaMychal Green to Dwight Howard, but JaMychal Green and JaVale McGee are basically the same to me. Rest Davis in a blowout over LeBron. LeBron most likely to play more minutes. I think both would probably get out around the same time. So, Zubac 25 minutes tonight. They got to run big. I could see Zubac playing 25. Again, I like Zubac. I think he goes a little bit lower owned compared to Joakim Noah. Now, Joakim Noah, again, is still a question mark. Like, he's going to be popular, but there's no guarantee in minutes. We have not seen him play yet for the Clippers. They could just strictly run JaMychal Green at the backup 5. Or they could give Joakim Noah, 5 minutes, right? So there's no guarantee here. Again, he's going to be popular. I think if he gets, 10 to 15 minutes, he'll probably get you there. Maybe even, if he gets more minutes than that, he'll probably crush. It's a question mark right now with Noah for sure. So Zubac could just be asked to play more, and maybe they just don't play Noah that much or even at all. NBA video is coming. Tomorrow video? Yeah, tomorrow I will have a video. I do have an early look video already up. But yeah, I will have a video up later tonight. How many minutes for Howard, you think? He's slightly better point per minute than McGee. The minutes were going down on him going into the break. I think probably a safe estimate for Dwight Howard is 12 to 15 minutes. Again, I think McGee gets a little bit more. I think McGee 15 to 18. Is that the Sabonis shirt? You know it's a Sabonis shirt. Yeah, RIP. Well, not RIP, but RIP for the season for Sabonis, basically. Don't think he's going to play the rest of the year, which is very, very sad because he's dealing with the plantar fasciitis. But yeah, had to rock the Sabonis shirt here for the first day back. Yeah, all right. I'm going to enter this Millie Maker a few more times. There is huge overlay. The Millie Maker is a tournament I usually don't like entering a lot because it's terrible payout structure. But if we're going to get such big overlay, then yeah, I'm going to enter it. I'm also going to enter this $1 tournament a decent amount. Got huge overlay, guys. So if you have the money, again, normally I don't like playing a whole lot on the small slates, but I would try to get a few extra entries in there because like some of these tournaments are only half full. Let's see. I'd be surprised if Howard plays 10 minutes. Yeah, I mean, Dwight Howard's minutes have been going down for sure. Zubac, Marcus Morris, or Kuzma? That's a good question. All three are in play. I think I like the upside the most on Zubac if he gets like 20 minutes. So I'm going to go Zubac with, hoping he gets extra run with no Montrezl Harrell there. But I think Marcus Morris and Kuzma are still in play too. I just think Zubac, if he gets the minutes, can have like a huge game. Like if he gets 20, even 25 minutes, he will probably crush for his price. So give me Zubac there, but again, that's close. Switched out Noah for JaMychal Green. 2 nervous minutes on Noah. Yeah, I mean, I think Noah is definitely the better point per minute guy, but we just don't know what the minutes are going to be like. We don't. I do have Noah in my lineup. I'm a little bit nervous, but if he just gets 10 to 15 minutes, he'll probably get me there. Thanks, DK. Good luck tonight. Appreciate your time and info. Of course, man. McGee higher owned than Dwight. Yeah. I think McGee will be double the ownership of Dwight. I don't think either will be too high owned. But, yeah, I definitely think JaVale will be higher owned. Noah playing, sure, 10 to 15 minutes, I think. So was good in scrimmage. Yeah, we were seeing that in the scrimmages for sure, but against the regular season, never a guarantee. Holiday or Zion, not huge on either. I'll go Drew, though. T minus 1 minute till lock. Yeah. We are almost at lock. I can go over some ownership here. Noah, 20 minutes. Yeah, like I said, I could see Joakim Noah playing anywhere from like 5 to 20-ish minutes. We don't know. Let's see. I decided to go JaMychal Green. I'm good with that, right? Like, I'm completely fine with Green. I think at least one of Green, Noah, and Zubac is going to have a really good game. So I would try to get guys at least one of those value Clippers bigs in your lineup. I think Noah. I mean, they're all in play. It's tough. You can make an argument for any one. Right? I think JaMychal Green is going to go the lowest owned of the three. One with Deion Waiters and Millie Maker for the dart throw. He will chuck when he's out there. That's very true. Like Deion Waiters is definitely going to shoot the ball when he's out there. Maybe let LA Lakers give some more rehearsal minutes. Possible. My issue is just they have so many guys like him, like JR, Danny Green, KCP. Fantasy Labs projects Noah for 12.7 minutes. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a fair projection, right? Because I said anywhere 5 to 20, so that's basically half. Deion Waiters looked good in exhibition the other day. Yeah, I mean, Deion Waiters, we know he has upside. It's just, what are the minutes going to be like for him? So I think he's certainly a viable punt play. All right, let's see. We are now at lock. So time to go over some ownership, and then I can get out of here. Let's see if it's going to load. Is the Draftkings app down on a... Oh, no, it's just slow to load. Okay. Let's see. Scored like 18. All right, so I'm going to go over the ownership real quick in the $44 tournament, and then I can get out of here. So we have Clarkson coming in at 60% owned. Not surprised there, right? Him and Donovan Mitchell coming in at 65%. Not surprised either. Joe Ingles coming in at 18%. That's kind of my contrarian play. I left money on the table, and then I went with Gobert, who's 55% owned. This is in the $44 tournament. I did not play any Pelicans, guys. So we'll see how it goes, right? I am a little bit scared that I have no Pelicans exposure. My favorite play was Lonzo, but I wanted to rearrange my lineup. I wanted to get a little bit different. The rest of my lineup, I'll just tell you guys, I have AD, Reggie Jackson, Paul George, and Joakim Noah, leaving good money. Again, 1.1K on the table. Let's see. Drafting, acting like guys that I don't want to see. Overlast match. Conley and Ingles, almost identical ownership. Yeah, I mean, I like both those guys. It seems like a lot of the ownership went to Mitchell, Jordan Clarkson, and Rudy Gobert. But Conley and Ingles are good plays. Again, I have Joe Ingles in my lineup. Lonzo only 28%. Again, I like that. I don't have any Pelicans exposure, but Lonzo would have been my guy if I played him. Ingles low on 25%. Good with it. Zion or bust. Just the minutes worry me a little bit. I think he can still get you there, but like at a similar price, I much prefer Paul George. Good luck, fellas. JJ about 20%. Yeah, I'm okay with that. JJ Redick. I liked him. He was originally in my lineup. I originally did have JJ and Lonzo, but I wanted to rearrange it to get Reggie in. I went with Ingram with Zion limited. I'm good with Ingram too. He was probably my second favorite play on the Pelicans. Yeah, definitely Lonzo was my favorite. But all right, guys, I think I'm gonna get out of here. So enjoy. Let's watch some NBA. Again, I will have a video up later tonight for Friday's slate. It'll also be live for Friday's slate. I know it's like one of the games go live, like 1 tomorrow. I will be live for it. I took a half day at work, so I will be live for that. Good luck, everyone. Hope you guys all win some money. It's great, again, the NBA to be back, and I will see you all tomorrow.